Coming back with you here a little quicker than expected, but Coach Finnocchiaro was kind enough to jump in here after a big victory over St. Mary's in Game 1 tonight. We're between periods here. Coach, obviously a thrilling game, a shootout that you guys were able to prevail in. What were your thoughts from the game? What was your takeaway?
I thought, obviously, I want to give St. Mary's. I thought they played a really strong game. They clogged the middle of the ice up on us pretty good, and we couldn't seem to make an adjustment to break it down. It's exciting for a shootout. You know what I mean? But that's not where I wanted to be. You know what I mean?
Sure,
wanted to win. More importantly, because it was a league game for us.
That's true.
And obviously I want to win the Christmas tournament, but I would have liked to win tonight's hockey game also for our league and then be in the finals for the Christmas tournament.
Yeah, I mean, certainly goaltending, Elijah, just terrific as always. I've seen him a couple of times now. Really held his own between the pipes and certainly in the shootout, didn't give up any goals there. Talk a little bit about his play early on in the season. I know we only got a couple of games under his belt, but certainly big expectations, I would think, out of Elijah.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a kid. I've had him 3 years now. He's determined. He's got a passion for what he does. I mean, he's special. He's his work ethic and his preparation for games, and not only for games, his preparation more so. He's a kid. I was just talking to a friend of mine, Timmy Burke, who works with the San Jose Sharks.
Yep.
I was telling him about him. He brings a notebook out to the bench and practice and sets goals for himself.
So there's a kid prepared
he's
in many
prepared.
ways.
Yeah. He's prepared. I used him for an example in our practice the other day on something that went on that someone was not prepared. That's the difference. He's a special kid and a fantastic goaltender.
And, we followed your team to the Garden last year, obviously, facing off against Malden Catholic in the championship game, and looked up and down the roster and said, boy, what a young team. And I looked down at the roster again today, and I think there's only 2 seniors on the roster. So, you seem to be pretty well positioned for the next couple of years. And I did notice, I think there was an 8th grader or whatever that contributed pretty mightily today. So why don't you talk a little bit more about this year's roster and, some of the newer players?
Well, I think this year's roster, I mean, our top 6 forwards are back from last year. All our defensemen are back, our defensive core. We just have 2 seniors with Andrew Cross and Brendan Leach. So we got some balance there. In our third line are a group of young players who haven't been with us. I think we need to gain some experience. Talking to our team, I think our biggest opponent is ourselves right now. Yeah. I think from coming off a season that we came off of last year, we can't take games lightly. Again, not to take any credit from St. Mary's, but I didn't like, tonight we weren't disciplined on our bench, and I didn't like our compete level, and I thought there was a lot of individual stuff, and I didn't think we got pucks in deep when we needed to. We tried to beat guys, and we just didn't do all the little things that we talk about well tonight.
Right. Well, the good thing, Coach, is it is early in the season, so hopefully they will begin to gel as the season gets going, and certainly put this one behind them. Although it goes as a tie in the books, it's a win for the tournament. You'll be right back at it tomorrow night at 5:40. I know you caught the first period here. To me, a little bit of a surprise. Hingham, skating right with them. Malden Catholic taking a couple of bad penalties there early in the game. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you saw here?
Well, obviously 2 great teams, that are always, been good teams past 15 years. So I think Hingham's big. They got some size. He's rolling 4 lines. And Malden Catholic, obviously, a very skilled team. So when you play teams like that, you got to keep things simple. You got to pay attention to detail, especially in a defensive zone. And if they're going to beat you want to let them beat you 200 feet. You know what I mean? Right. So you want to get that puck in, make good decisions in the neutral zone, get it in deep, and just try to sustain some forecheck and try to contain them.
Yep. And I know you're very familiar with Coach McLean and Coach Messina, having squared off against them over the years. What a fabulous tournament for all 4 teams that are here tonight. Any expectations for tomorrow night? I mean, do you care who your opponent is? I know you've said you want your team to play better. Probably your theme for tomorrow.
Well, obviously, I mean, the tournament's special to me. I had a very special, unique relationship with Chris Serino. You know, he was my coach in high school, then became friends after and played for him. Obviously, this tournament is special to me, and you know, regardless of who our opponent is, my concentration is on our team, and hopefully we show up tomorrow night, which I know we got a lot of character guys in the locker room. You know, you're going to have bad nights. Not everything's going to go the way you want it to go, and you know, what I told the guys is if we learn from it, we'll become a better team. If we don't, then we could be in a little bit of trouble, you know. But I think our guys are a resilient group of guys, and I think we'll show up here tomorrow night to play, and hopefully, you know, our goal is to win the Christmas tournament.
Good. Well, I appreciate you spending the time with us, Coach, here in between periods. Again, we're about to start the second period here with the Hingham Harbormen tied with Malden Catholic 1-1. And Austin Prep will move on to the championship game tomorrow night. I know we're going to see a more spirited group tomorrow night for that 5:40 start. We'll be back here for that tomorrow night again. So certainly if you have time to join us before that game or afterwards, we're happy to have you anytime, Coach. Again, thanks for your time.
All right, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right. Nice talking.